Before Islam reached Africa, North Africa was a land of ancient sands and deep divisions. The shadow of the Roman Empire still lingered, its rulers taxing the poor into despair. Tribal wars scarred the landscape, their conflicts seemingly without end. Faith itself was often a tool of power, wielded by those in authority, leaving many to pray with hearts full of doubt, their hope worn thin by years of hardship. Then, from the east, a new message began to travel. A whisper carried on the desert winds, a story of unity and justice that would change Africa forever. In the bustling marketplaces of Egypt, where the air was thick with the scent of spices and the calls of merchants, a young trader named Yusuf ibn Salam overheard the whispers. He listened as travelers from Arabia spoke of something new, a faith that was transforming their homeland. An excited trader told his companions, "They say it began in Arabia, a faith that speaks of one God." Yusuf, accustomed to a world of many deities and idols, was intrigued. One God, not gods. He asked. The second trader nodded, his eyes wide, "Yes. And they say the poor and the rich pray side by side, equals in his eyes." Yusuf frowned, a deep line forming on his brow. The idea was radical, revolutionary. If that is true, he murmured to himself, it will change everything. In the year 640 AD, Muslim forces led by Amr ibn al-As arrived in Egypt. They did not come as the conquerors of old, with fire and destruction. Their entrance was peaceful, their banners fluttering gently in the breeze. They didn't burn churches or desecrate holy sites. They didn't force their beliefs upon the people. Their leader, Amr ibn al-As, stood before the local leaders, his voice firm yet calm. "We are not here to destroy faith, only to remove oppression." A Coptic Christian elder, his face etched with a lifetime of caution, stepped forward. "Will you force us to change our religion?" he asked, his voice trembling slightly. Amr shook his head, his gaze steady and reassuring. "There is no compulsion in faith," he replied, quoting from the Quran. A murmur of surprise and relief spread through the crowd. This was not the conquest they had feared. For the first time in generations, the people of North Africa witnessed a different kind of rule. They saw leaders who lived with profound simplicity. There were no golden crowns, no claims of divine kingship. These were men who knelt on the ground to pray, just like everyone else. Watching them, Yusuf whispered to a friend, "These men fear God, not power." It was a leadership rooted in humility, not arrogance. This new way of governing, based on justice and equality, began to resonate deeply with people who had only known tyranny. If stories like this open your eyes to the hidden currents of the past. Subscribe to our channel. History gets deeper from here. Islam didn't spread across Africa. Primarily through swords and battles, it spread through the quiet power of character. It was carried in the hearts of traders who conducted their business with unwavering honesty, who refused to cheat their customers. It was upheld by judges who administered justice equally. Whether for a powerful nobleman or a humble farmer, it was seen in the compassion of Muslims who helped their neighbors, sharing food and resources without asking for anything in return. One day, a proud Berber leader, accustomed to rulers who held themselves above the common people, confronted a Muslim judge. "You rule us, but you don't act above us," he said. A mix of confusion and respect in his voice, the judge simply replied, "Because we are all equal before God." A profound silence followed his words. A silence filled with contemplation. The Berbers of the Atlas Mountains were a fierce and independent people, their spirit as rugged and untamed as their homeland. They were warriors proud of their heritage and had resisted invaders for centuries. At first, they resisted the new arrivals. "We will not bow to Arabs," was the common sentiment among their tribes. They fought to preserve their autonomy. But over time, as they observed the Muslims who lived among them, they saw something different. This new faith did not seek to erase their identity, their language, or their culture. Instead, it offered a framework that gave their lives a deeper, universal meaning. It spoke to their innate sense of justice and their yearning for a direct connection to the divine. One quiet night, under a vast desert sky filled with stars, Yusuf found himself standing beside a Berber man named Tariq, who had recently embraced Islam. The air was still, the only sound the soft whisper of the wind. "Why did you accept Islam?" Yusuf asked gently. Tariq didn't answer immediately. He just looked up at the glittering cosmos, a sense of awe on his face. "Because for the first time, I felt seen," he finally said, his voice low but clear. He paused, then added, "There is no king, no priest, no barrier between me and God." In that simple statement lay the heart of Islam's appeal: a direct, personal relationship with the Creator. From these humble beginnings, great centers of Islamic civilization began to rise across North Africa. Cities like Cairo in Tunisia and Fez in Morocco became beacons of knowledge, attracting scholars from across the world. Great mosques and universities were built, their libraries filled with books on theology, law, science, and philosophy. African scholars made immense contributions to Islamic thought, their writings studied for centuries. African generals, like the Berber Tariq ibn Ziyad, led armies that carried the message of Islam into Spain. Africa didn't just passively receive Islam, it actively shaped it, enriched it, and became one of its most vital heartlands. Did you know that Africa played such a central role in the history of Islamic civilization? Let us know in the comments below. This new faith also brought a new political philosophy. Islam challenged the absolute power of kings and rulers. It introduced the idea that a leader was a servant of the people, accountable not only to them but to God. It established legal systems that protected the rights of the weak and the vulnerable. It set limits on power and demanded justice from those who wielded it. And naturally, this scared those who thrived on oppression, those whose power was built on the exploitation of others. The message of equality was a threat to their unjust world. From the golden deserts of Egypt to the windswept mountains of Morocco, Islam became an inseparable part of Africa's soul. It was a transformation that came not through force, not through fear, but through the powerful ideals of justice, equality, and human dignity. It resonated with the deepest spiritual yearnings of the people and offered a path to a better, more just society. History often remembers the great wars, the clash of empires, and the fall of kings. But people, in their hearts, remember dignity. They remember fairness. They remember being seen and valued. And that is why Islam, a message of profound dignity, took such deep and lasting root in the rich soil of Africa. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more stories that uncover the soul of history.